When you hear your music, do you feel like it's like that was a different time in your life, or you feel like it's just like one of the cards that kind of just comes across the table every now and then, or how do you feel about it?
I'm making music more than ever now.
Really?
I've always made music. I never stopped. It's
Right.
always been about the music.
Really?
It's just no one wants to hear it.
Yeah.
I came to LA. My whole life, I was an aspiring rock star. My whole life, since the age of 10. My family, all the friends I grew up with down in Orange County, in Santa Ana, they all knew me as a guy trying to make it in music. And when I was 21, I finally made the move. I thought I outgrew the Orange County scene out there.
Because you were getting big, you were getting kind of...
No, it's just that I felt like if I really wanted to make it, I had to live right in Hollywood. You know? And, at 16 and 17, I'd be driving up to Hollywood on the weekends and partying right on Sunset during the heyday of metal, like in the 80s when the party was on the street. So me and my buddies would drive up and we would just walk up and down the street looking for girls. We're 16, 17. We had long hair. We're fully in, we were into the speed metal scene. We were like into Slayer and Metallica and like the German thrash scene. But girls didn't know that. Girls just saw the long hair. They just thought, oh, he's Guns N' Roses. Like, yeah, I'm Guns N' Roses. Whatever. I'm Poison. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to explain to them like the different levels of metal.
Yeah.
So
I was just on Jim Jeffries' podcast with Carrie the other day from Slayer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Were you a Slayer fan?
I wasn't a Slayer fan.
What kind of music did you like?
I grew up listening to like Rodney James Dio, though.
Okay.
So Dio, I grew up listening to like
did you
Guns N' Roses, Metallica. That was it. Aerosmith.
All right.
Jane's
so you were
Addiction.
a metalhead. You were kind of a metalhead in the rock. Yeah.
Oh, that was the first thing. Yeah. I mean, my brother and I used to fist fight to Slayer songs. He used to put them on, and then he would beat me up. So it was basically, seeing Carrie, that was the first thing I told him. I was like, hey man, my brother and I used to fist fight to your music.
Yeah, man. The music industry had me hook, line, and sinker, man. I was chasing the mansions and the hoes.
Wow.
My whole life was all about getting that mansion, partying like David Lee Roth, having 50 chicks around me. I was chasing that shit. They got me hooked. MTV got me. I was watching MTV. I'm like, I want that shit. So I eventually...
Like that, pour some sugar on me, like that kind of, those kind of videos?
My goal was to move to Hollywood
and
get some strippers to support me in my musical endeavors. You know what I mean? Have them buy me groceries. Because I heard the stories from like the Motley Crue stories where they were when they were first blowing up in Hollywood, they'd have all these strippers bringing them groceries. They didn't work. All they did was write music all day. That was the lifestyle that I wanted.
Right.
They got me, man. They brainwashed me.
So
they
that
got
story,
me good.
You were hooked.
Oh, I was hooked. And by the time I figured out, I thought it was really easy to make it in the music business because at 13, maybe at 12 or 13, there was a band called Queensryche. You remember them?
Yeah.
They had a song called
Silent Lucidity, was that them?
Yes. That was when they were huge.
Right.
But in the very beginning, they released an EP with the song Queen of the Reich on it. And just one song blew them up. So I thought, oh shit, all you need is one good song and you automatically blow up.
Right.
That's what I really believed.
Yeah.
I believe that if you have one good song, you will blow up.
You can make it happen. And so did you, and so that kind of... So you figured that, as far as you, in your mind at that point, you're like, oh, well, yeah, I can make these other things happen. Then I just got to make one good song.
Yeah, one good song. And by the time I realized that that's not how the music business worked, it was too late. I dug myself in way too deep.
What, with the drugs and the partying and the fun?
Well, I wasn't really into drugs. I
Right.
drank.
Right.
I was always drinking. I'm Mexican, and that's it's pretty normal for Mexico. So I moved to Hollywood at 21.
And so now you say you were hook line into it. At that point, you were hook line into Hollywood. You wanted that dream.
I realized that it was more than one song.
Yeah.
I didn't realize exactly how the music business worked. I thought it was just going to be really easy. People would tell me, like my uncle told me, they didn't want me to move to Hollywood. It's only like 45 minutes in the traffic.
Jesus,
but they thought I was moving.
Mexican families are close, right? That's not that far.
So they thought I was moving to fucking England or something.
Yeah.
And my uncle told me, goes, do you realize that it's a 1 in a million shot that you're going to make in the music business? And I thought I was that 1 in a million. I was a fucking idiot,
Now, okay, well, at that moment, though, that point, you're an idiot or you're... but you have to have some of that, right?
Yeah, you gotta be an idiot, you know, if you think you're just going to make it in the music business. And I really thought it was 100%. I thought it was a matter of fucking time.
That's so.
I thought
it must be nice
I
to have
am
that
the chosen
confidence.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, it was beyond confident. I knew for sure. And then every Christmas or Thanksgiving, I come back and visit my family. They're like, "How's the music, Edgar? How's the new demo? You got a new demo?" There was always a new demo. I always had a new demo, a new band. It was like they actually saw me live once. I brought my whole family, my aunts, and it was horrible. It was like the worst Slayer you can imagine.
Yeah.
And, you know, a shitty club in Santa Fe Springs called Chex, and we played with Sacred Reich. And
Sacred Reich.
Sacred Reich was signed, and you know, it was a big gig for us, but we were horrible.
Yeah.
It was just, and my aunts, just Mexican aunts,
Disappointed, huh?
there, and there's all these long hair.
El Dia de los Muertos. It's a dark night when it's.
Yeah, they knew. They're like, damn. They were trying to plan an intervention to get me out of music. Like,
bad music.
Don't wait. They're like, you're very smart. You can go to college. You can do something with your life. What are you doing? And then they finally just gave up on me. Like, fuck it. Yeah. I went to Hollywood.
Now, were you ever influenced by like La Bamba or any of that, like that type of stuff? Huh?
No. I probably listened to 100,000 hours of mariachis, and I can't tell one song from the next.
Really?
I don't know one vocal melody or nothing. You would think I would know the fucking songs and who the singers were.
Yeah.
I was just bombarded with it, but I never retained not even one song. I don't know.
Because you didn't want that. There was no attraction to it.
I didn't retain. I couldn't tell the difference from one mariachi song to the next.
Yeah.
You know, it was something. My mom was so into. My mom wanted to be a singer when she was younger. So anytime we go to a Mexican restaurant, they have a mariachi. My mom's gonna get up and sing with that goddamn mariachi. You know,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But now, so as a kid, then did you see her doing that? You think that inspired you at all in a weird way, or no?
No, maybe subconsciously, but what really inspired me was in 1978, the Kiss movie that was on NBC called Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Mm-hmm. And it was right when, you know, there's like early Kiss, 73, 74, 75, where, you know, everyone's like, yeah, I like early Kiss. But then once they blew up in 76, 77, they got really bubblegummy. And then all the hardcore fans, you know, they kind of died, like all bands.
Yes.
You know, like Vanilla Ice was hot for one fucking year.
Right.
And then he went down. MC Hammer was the hot thing. Then it's embarrassing to say you like MC Hammer.
Right.
It was getting like that. I got into Kiss when it was embarrassing for teenagers to say they like Kiss, but I was 8, so I didn't know. I didn't know what a sellout was. I didn't know.
And you weren't even at that point as an 8-year-old. You're still like, people were like, holy shit, this kid's like Kiss?
Yeah, Kiss was so over and dead by the time that TV movie came out, to the hardcore fans, that I was 8 and I didn't know anything about Kiss, but I was talking shit on Kiss at school because the night that movie aired at school, the kids were talking, the 8-year-olds were talking about the Kiss movie. You're going to see the new Kiss movie tonight?
Right.
And everyone's like, fuck Kiss. 8-year-olds didn't know shit because their older brothers, and my stepdad was a classic rock guy, and he couldn't stand Kiss. So to him, he was into like Led Zeppelin, and Kiss was just bubblegum bullshit at that point.
At that point. Now, the stepdad, was he cool? Did he have a mustache? What kind of stepdad was he?
He was a total douchebag. He was evil, but he did like classic rock, got me into Van Halen, so like Ted Nugent, the Pretenders, just it goes on and on.
That's the gifts of a stepdad. Usually just a little bit of music and some pants or something they leave, you know.
You know what? When he took off, he beat my mom and took off. He left the stereo, and the stereo, we couldn't touch his stereo. You know, if he wasn't around, we'd play a record on the stereo, and it was so weird because I didn't understand stereo. I didn't know there was a left speaker and a right speaker because I had a little turntable with one speaker.
Right.
So when you don't realize that you're missing half the music and the guitar riffs and shit that are playing on the other side. So whenever I play Kiss records on his stereo when he's at work,
a whole other world.
I'm like, what the fuck what are all these other riffs going on? I was only hearing one guitar. It was so weird.
Wow.
I didn't get it. I didn't get what stereo was. And then
so stepdad left some good stuff. You know, he left the treats of music. You're into music.
And then when the Kiss movie came out, I talked shit on Kiss the whole time. Everybody did in school, but me and my brother, we were really
liked it.
It was 8:00 Friday night, NBC. We fucking turned that thing on, and we're like, oh shit! And my mom was cool because usually at 8:00 she got the TV. She was watching her novelas, Spanish soap operas. She was watching Viviana at that time, and she knew how important this was to us. But we were talking shit on Kiss, but there was so much hype. We had to watch this movie. Saw the movie, Rock and Roll All Night, blew my fucking mind, and I wanted to be a rock star as soon as I saw that movie. And went to Gemco, which was like a Walmart back in the day, with my aunts. And like, remember, you ever see South Park when Cartman wants to get a toy and he drags his mom and he's the boss and he's looking for the toy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like that. I had to get Rock and Roll All Night and Party. I had to get that goddamn song. So we marched into Gemco, went to the record department, dragged my aunt, and we just went through the Kiss records, and I found Rock and Roll All Night. And it was on the Kiss Alive album. And I didn't know what a live record is. My aunt goes, I think this is a concert record. I'm like, what? Shut up. It's a record. A record's a record. So got it home, put the needle on, and then the audience, you hear that it's a live record. I thought, what the fuck is this, a football game? Right. I didn't know what a live record was.
So then you're getting, so it's interesting, man. It's like you get these little bitty doses of like the whole musical world. You get, first you get one half of, you get mono, and then you get stereo, and that kind of blows your mind.
Fuck yeah.
And then you get the audience level. It's almost like it came in at doses that were like, for a guy that seems like as active-brained as you are, and this is it's some judgment for me, I don't know you, but a guy who seems as active-brained as you are, like that's almost how you need it in order for it to like, piece by piece, for it to kind of build.
Yeah, it was an inch-by-inch type of thing. And, from that point on, the only other thing I was into was being a football player. I was really into football, and I thought, okay, I'm going to be a rock star or a football player. And, in 1979, I'm 9 years old. I'm playing tackle football, junior All-American. I'm playing fucking middle linebacker and defensive end. Everyone's the same size. I didn't realize that I was going to stop growing. I didn't realize Mexicans don't play football.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I really thought I was going to be I could be a professional football player.
Like a lot of Mexican men and women are the same height. Like, is there a certain, how tall are Mexicans? Is there one height? No.
5'4".
Okay. Because I see some, bro, and I also see, like, I used to see if you leave a street light on, dude, Latinos will end up kissing under it. I noticed that.
We don't play football. We play soccer football, but not like American football. Once I realized that, I went in at 6th grade was the first taste of like maybe, because in my neighborhood, we're playing street football, and I was a fucking star.
Right.
With other Mexicans.
Right.
But once I went to school, played tackle in the 4th and 5th grade, and then went to 6th grade. There wasn't tackle in the 6th grade.
Right.
And it was flag football. You didn't put the pads back on until high school. So I didn't make it. That's when in 6th grade, I was too slow. And I blamed it on the fact that it was flag football. I'm like, fuck flag football. Wait till 9th grade when we played tackle football. I'll show you what the fuck's up. I won the team ball at Junior All-American. Shit. Pee Wee football.
Yeah.
I was a little star in Pee Wee football. But in the 6th grade, you start to separate, and then in 7th grade again, I didn't make the goddamn football team.
So are you realizing you're just not any good at it?
Mexicans can't run fast.
Really?
No. We could jump fences like a motherfucker.
Right.
I could do that. I could climb a tree, but
so if the whole track were fences, you guys would cruise.
Yeah. So I realized, hey, it's not going to happen for me in football.
So football was out, and so then you're left just with music.
It was just music at that point, and started let my hair grow. Got really into Slayer and writing satanic lyrics and shit. I bought like a satanic Bible.
But were you doing the work behind the scenes?
Lyrics.
Because it sounds like you have all the accoutrements. You know what I'm saying? You got the hair. You know what's going on. You're tuned in with music. Are you playing any music?
Oh, absolutely. But the first band I put together was called the Bikers. We were going to come out on stage with our BMX bikes, you know what I mean? And then it switched to Tight Action, and then it switched to Execrate, which is to put under a curse.
Jesus.
And at that point, all my friends...
That's the dark arts at some point. It sounded like
it was
violent.
Evil. It was evil. At 13, I was writing satanic lyrics and shit. And I started playing drums only because everybody else in the band, all my friends, they already had guitars, and no one had a drum set. So I thought, and I could air drum to "I Love It Loud" by Kiss. It's like, so I figured I could play drums.
Right.
I'm like, I could play drums.
I
just started playing drums. So I started playing drums just because no one else would.
Okay.
And then I started taking drum lessons, and my drum teacher, this was changed everything for me. My drum teacher, I show up to his house to take a drum lesson, and a guitar, an acoustic guitar on his bed, and even though the only reason I played drums was because no one else would, once you start playing drums or whatever, once you start playing bass, that's the best instrument. The drums are the best. So he had a guitar, and I kind of felt like betrayed. Like, why are you fucking playing a guitar, man? I'm taking lessons from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're stabbing me in the fucking back. It was like that. And he said, listen, in the music business, the drummer's always at the mercy of the songwriter of the band. It's not going to be like that for me. I'm going to write the music. I'm going to write the lyrics. I'm going to be one of those drummers. And I thought, holy shit, so am I. I don't want to be at the mercy of someone else.
Yeah.
So at that point, I bought a guitar. And even though I was playing drums all through the 80s, I was writing the music, writing the lyrics because of what my drum teacher told me. Brian Johnson. Never forget that guy.
He said the drummer is always at the mercy of the writer?
The songwriter.
The songwriter. There's very few bands where the drummer is the lead singer.
Or not even the lead singer, or just who writes the music,
right?
Who arranges it, who puts it together, who produces it. It's rarely the drummer. The drummer is just like a hired gun, generally, the least important guy in the band.
Yeah,
and that's
Rush is like that actually.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Neil Peart, he writes all the lyrics.
Yeah, I actually used to play the drums. He was a big inspiration to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So that one drum lesson changed everything. So from that point on, I always wrote the music. Not all of it. I would write with the guitar players of the band, like James. He was one of my.
Do you collaborate well with others? Because you seem like kind of like a. Are you a guy that you like to kind of create it just on your own?
Well, it's a good question. This is the way I worked in the bands I was in. I didn't want to be a dick, so I would say the rules of the band are. Anybody in the band can write and contribute. But if you bring a riff into the band or a little part, if one of the guys in the band doesn't like it, we're going to fucking chop it out.
Wow.
We're not going to use it. We're only going to use your shit if everybody in the band likes it.
That's pretty fair.
Right, it's fair, right?
Yeah, it seems democratic.
And people that don't write in the band, they realize, we got to get on stage and play this in front of people. So you want to fucking force your riff that nobody likes. We're going to be on stage playing it. The audience ain't going to like it either.
Right.
So real quick, they understand, and everyone knows their role. Like, okay, this guy writes all the cool riffs that the audience likes, so it's better if we play his riffs.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid formula. And so how did that work with the bands? Did it work pretty well?
It worked great. So the way I would write music was... Anybody who wanted to give me riffs, they gave me a tape. Like the two guitar, I'd be the drummer, and the two guitar players would give me tapes of all 10 riffs, 15 riffs.
And you check them out?
I would check them all out, and I would have a song, like a skeleton for a song, and then I would take the riffs that I would like, and I would stick it in, and I would record the whole song on a 4-track. And so I would have a whole shitty production, but here's the whole song. Let's duplicate that. And the guitar players would listen to it and they'd wait for their riff. Oh, shit, there's my riff. Cool. So they'd be happy about it.
Oh, that's cool.
And they'd be happy that I actually had the skills to arrange it and put it all together.
To do the work. Yeah, you're showing back up with something. People love that.
Yeah. So, and they knew that if I really liked something, it was a good riff and then everybody else was going to like it.
Nice.
So so after a while, they trusted me to put it all together. So I was always putting together the stuff. And I probably wrote half the lyrics, and my buddy James, he was really good at writing lyrics too, so we wrote lyrics together. Sometimes he would write the chorus of the song, and I would write the verses of the song, and I would just put it together and arrange everything. And the songs were long too. Back then, it was cool to write 8-minute songs, 10-minute songs, like Metallica.
Some of that were going forever.
Master of Puppets, 8-minute song is not uncommon,
Oh, no, there were some songs I remember... I remember a couple songs that lasted, I felt like a third of my childhood, Like there were some songs that were like, sometimes you get a song that was 14 minutes on a cassette tape.
I got burnt out really quick writing speed metal stuff. It's just like after
it's the same thing.
After a while, just the drum beat, I started getting burnt out. And
and you can't play it a lot of places. Like, you can play it at
and there's no girls at the shows. It's being like, what the fuck am I doing?
Because that music bothers
I was chasing
girls.
That mansion. I'm like, speed metal bands don't have mansions, man. Slayer don't got they got apartments and shit, and they're broke. And the bass players are sleeping on couches.
Well, a lot of them end up without the metal and just on speed. I feel like too.
Exactly.
It's a gateway drug. Speed metal's a gateway drug.
And hip hop was blowing up in the 80s too, and I loved the concept of rap. I love that in rock you had to be metaphoric and you had to be poetic and vague and like what are these songs really about? You had to, but in rap you could be that and funny, super violent. You could be straight out. There was no limit in rap. Okay. I loved that, but I wasn't really into the music.
But were you and not chasing, but do you feel like, were you aiming to be a star, do you feel like? Because I know the first part you said, because I wonder sometimes, like when I came to Hollywood, like, or what I wanted to be, I know I wanted to do stand-up. And I know maybe somewhere in my head I wanted to be, part of, I don't know if I wanted to be part of Hollywood. I guess somewhere in my mind I wanted to be popular, like, because the first part you mentioned about the speed metal and stuff or the rock is that, about the mansions and the girls, and wanting that lifestyle. Maybe that's it. Did you feel like you were kind of chasing like a lifestyle a little bit? Or
yes.
What was some of your motivation?
Oh man,
because I probably was too.
I was the most insecure kid. I was a product of my father. My real father didn't give a shit about me.
Yeah.
He didn't give a fuck. He had 19 kids. I was one of 19
Jesus.
kids. He was just fucking everybody and getting everyone pregnant.
So did you just run into kids that looked like you sometimes? You'd be like, what?
No.
It wasn't like that.
I looked like my mom.
Really?
So,
Oh, so that was kind of a blessing?
My mom had 3 kids. I was one, but...
Did you feel like kind of blessed that you looked like your mom since your dad had so many kids? Did you ever think about that?
And since he was so ugly. Right. Like, thank God I don't look like that motherfucker. But yeah, so with the rap thing, this is how the music evolved. I liked the concept of rap, but I didn't like musically where the rap was coming from. I really wasn't into funk or like James Brown or George Clinton. Wasn't into that shit.
Yeah.
But then I heard Public Enemy collaborate with Anthrax, and they did a speed metal rap song.
So that was
called
a crossing
Bring the
over.
Noise. Once I heard that, I mean, Run DMC was already mixing rock and rap, and I kind of dug that. But they were mixing more like AC/DC making rap, and I wasn't at that point. I was full blown like speed metal, so I thought that was cool. AC/DC was cool. Run DMC was cool, but then the collaboration between Anthrax and Public Enemy, that's what got me. And right in the middle of me, like, not knowing what the fuck I wanted to do, I'm like, do I want to write another speed metal song? I thought, shit, there needs to be a whole band like this, like a speed metal rap type band.
So that's where you went next?
So that was next. So that was the big move. The big move was, I'm going to move to fucking Hollywood, sell my drums. I'm already writing the music. I'm going to play guitar, and I'm going to make a part rap, part metal, part electronic, part gothic, and just mix up a bunch of stuff. Like the Anthrax Public Enemy collaboration didn't have synth, because I was getting into getting into The Cure and Depeche Mode and Nine Inch Nails, first album. So I was really getting into like a gothy kind of cool synthy sound. And I was doing that secretly because you're into Slayer. You can't tell people you're into The Cure. They'll fucking kill you. You know what I mean?
So,
back in the 80s.
Were you like, so what did the other speed metal guys think when you're like, you brought a couple brothers into the studio and said, look, we're adding in rap?
Yeah, what happened was my guitar player, James, who's a black guy.
Oh, okay.
He was my guitar player in the speed metal project. We formed our speed metal band together. Me and him were the main songwriters. Wow. But then we had another guitar player and another guitar player, a bass player, and a singer. So what we did, me and James, I said, hey, let's do a side project.
Yeah.
We'll do like a hip hop side project, but we'll do it like fucking with not typical hip hop music. We'll make hip hop for people who don't like hip hop, for the alternative. And we did it. We made a demo tape. It was garbage. It was our first attempt at mixing everything. It was garbage, but I liked moving that way. So I basically produced all the music, and James, the guitar player, he became the rapper.
Oh, right.
Because it turns out he liked rap, and I didn't know that. I thought he was a pure, like, metal black dude.
So you guys were all hiding your true selves a little
exactly.
bit.
I'm like, you like fucking rap? He's like, yeah. But he felt since he was black and in the metal scene, he had to be a super encyclopedia on metal, because you had to
be respected.
Yeah, because, like, you know what? There wasn't that many black people in speed metal.
Yeah, I think there's just him.
There was like 4. You know what I mean? Caton DePena, the singer for Hyrax, he was respected because he knew so much about the history of speed metal and hardcore and punk and all that people are like, okay, he's cool.
So it's like, so with music then, I mean, it seemed like you just kind of, as you like something, you just take it right into whatever you're then creating.
I was getting really, Yeah, the only reason I got into speed metal is because we were shitty musicians.
And so shitty musicians can play speed metal.
Yeah, do speed metal, do punk. Hide your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially, you can't do like a serious rock song. You need serious vocals and you need professional arrangements. You need people who really know what the fuck a
So
hook
did you
is.
like music or were you good at music?
I just wanted to be a rock star, and when you suck, you play shit that you're just disguising yourself. You're disguising your inability to sing and play by just screaming and yelling in mics.
Yeah,
but then as I got better at my guitar and got better at putting together songs, then we started bringing in like I remember getting our first real vocalist, our first lead vocalist, still in the speed metal band. He actually knew how to sing, like Rob Halford, and he was really good, like Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden. He was really good, so I learned a lot from him. Like shit, the singer we had before was just like a punk singer doing thrash.
Yeah, it was just a stepson, somebody's stepson.
Like, we're doing harmonies and shit. And I'm like, fuck, that's cool. You're doing two different keys and two different pitches and making them work together. I didn't really notice that shit before. So then I started evolving musically, and when we did this little side rap band, the rest of the band, like you said, they were kind of like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
I'm sure.
Yeah, like, are you guys leaving? We're like, no, this is just a side project. But meanwhile, we're like, let's do this full time. Wow. So we decided to move to Hollywood, forget speed metal.
So
move
you
to
left
Hollywood.
one bad band and to make another bad band.
Yeah. But at least this new band that wasn't speed metal and it was a combination of rap. It was like the same formula as Linkin Park. Because if you break down Linkin Park, it's part rap, part singing, heavy guitar, clean guitar, acoustic drums, and electronic drums too, synthetic drums. So they mixed everything. Keyboards too. They had a lot of synth. Mm-hmm. So that's the same formula.
That's what you're looking for.
We did that in '91. Wow. Remember, Linkin Park's first album came out in 2000.
Yeah.
So
you were ahead of the curve.
way before Linkin Park. But we were doing it wrong because we still had the 8-minute songs. But can you imagine Linkin Park? Most of their songs are like 3 minutes to the point. 3 minutes, 1 second, 2 minutes, 53 seconds, 3 minutes, 11 seconds, to the point. A nice short song. We were doing the same formula, but 9 minutes.
Yeah, that's
song,
aggravating.
10 minutes. Yeah, it was
You're bothering
ridiculous.
people for this. The last 6 minutes is bothering people.
Exactly.
Because Linkin Park inspires you. It's like it gets you pumped up. There's the rap. You're right there.
Yeah, get to the point.
Yes.
Get to the point. And we didn't because I dumped all the speed metal and I didn't want to go right into 3-minute songs. I felt like that was too much of a sellout. Right. I already felt like people. I was a kind of a sellout leaving speed metal because you feel that way.
Yeah.
Like look at him. Like there was a lot of musicians that were in thriving speed metal bands, and they would leave. I remember Larry Lalonde from Possessed. They were the most satanic speed metal band. When he left the band to form a comical type Red Hot Chili Peppers type band. I forget the name of the band, Mr. Bungleman. He did something and we considered him a sellout. Look at this motherfucker. He left speed metal to do like a regular band. Yeah. Fuck that dude. So I felt a little bit of that too. So that's why I had to keep the songs long, odd
to
meter.
Respect it.
Yeah, exactly. It was a slow progression. And then eventually that band, now I'm in Hollywood trying to sell that band. I'm producing all the music. James, my former guitar player, now he's the rapper. Yeah. And now this is a new band called Blackened Kill Symphony.
Jesus Christ, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, not in a bad way, but it sounds like, I think I was in a band for, like a couple of days when I was young, and we fucking sucked. And I've never been able to play anything. Yeah. So I don't even know what I was doing there, you know?
What did you sing?
I sang, and also I would do, actually, this is back when people used, this is going to sound fucking pretty sad, but when people use like triangle and shit, like heavy triangle though. Like tambourine type shit, like anything that was background, like the chakras. What are those things called?
Maracas?
Yeah, maracas, not chakras. Yeah, those fucking chakras, man.
So I'm in Hollywood now.
So you're in Hollywood, you're doing music.
But I wanted to be in shape. So I wasn't a fat rock star. So I joined a gym for 10 minutes.
Now, what inspired that, though? Because I feel like there's always this
Yngwie Malmsteen. Yngwie Malmsteen was a famous rock star, one of the greatest guitar players of all time. Mm-hmm. And then he let himself go and got a little fat for a while. Mm-hmm. And people started making fun of him. So I wanted to make sure that I looked good on stage and I was in shape. So I got into martial arts. So that's where the martial arts came in.
Okay.
Like I started doing karate. I did the Bruce Lee system. I was doing through the Danny Inosanto. He's out here in West LA. Oh, I'm sorry, not West LA. Marina Del Rey. Danny Inosanto, Bruce Lee student. I trained with one of his students. Got into that. Then I saw UFC 2, and I realized, shit, I got to start doing jiu-jitsu. Fuck, karate.
Do you think though, like your drumming, the ability to drum, did that up your hand strength when like your hand speed or something? Was there any like crossover when you were into that?
Nah,
Nothing like
not
that.
at all. Not at all. But I did wrestle a couple years in high school. So one year in junior high, and 1 year in high school. And I thought that was like just an insignificant part of my life that would never have anything to do with my life.
Wow.
But once I started doing jiu-jitsu, once I saw that, man, you could get on the ground and that's a martial art. Wrestling is a martial art. I never looked at wrestling as a martial art. To me, it was like a one-on-one football. Let's try to tackle each other.
And it almost sounds like kind of like it fits whatever works for you in your brain, because it seems like with the music you're mixing different styles. You're like well, here's a fast style and here's like more of a verbose style and a lyrical style, and you're trying to like kind of fit those two together.
Yeah, you could say that. I definitely yeah.
When you saw them to the mix, you were like, oh, that's something?
I don't know if I ever looked at it that way, but yes, I guess you can say my music and what my jiu-jitsu ended up evolving into is like, the same idea, just a little of everything and trying to put together like the ultimate package. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's what I'm trying to do.
You seem like a really, just listening to you, it seems like you want to, and it's interesting, like you love to produce, you love to create, you love to mix and match, and also you're involved in it at the same time.
The music never stopped. So I started doing jiu-jitsu, and then eventually the jiu-jitsu blew up. But even right when it blew up, when I beat Hoyler Gracie in 2003, I'm like right away, I'm trying to, because I already knew that athletes are not allowed to, they're not given a chance to blow up in music. They just are not. There's
Right.
no athlete like Shaq put a CD out.
I bought a CD when I was young. Deion Sanders had an album.
Exactly.
Roy Jones Jr.
Roy
had
Jones-
a couple rap songs.
Did he
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
They're not allowed to be successful in the music business. So I knew that. So I thought, wow, this is great that I'm, the jiu-jitsu's blowing up, but fuck, that's going to kill my music. So right away in interviews, I would make it clear to people that, listen, I'm a musician. I produce music.
Yeah.
This shit was just some accident.
Right.
You know what I mean?